Hi, everybody, back again with another episode of Red, White, and Brown on Daisy's Door Live. And we have with us today Rahat Kazmi. Rahat Kazmi is a filmmaker, he is also an actor, he is an independent producer as well, and he's made several movies over the last few years of the North Indian languages, and he has a track record that is has been very interesting. And I have him here with me today, and we were just chatting before we started rolling for the camera that we're both from the same place. We're both from the state of Jammu and Kashmir. We're both from Kashmir, and he's right now in Kashmir, and I'm here in San Francisco, and I am so jealous, Rahat.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot for having me here. And yes, I'm in Kashmir. I just came here yesterday. It's so wonderful here.
I'm so jealous. I can't even begin to tell you guys if you're listening to us or you're watching us. I can't even begin to tell you how beautiful this place is and how I miss it every day. And it's been several years, especially because of the pandemic, that I haven't visited. And I'm so jealous that Rahat is there right now. But Rahat does amazing storytelling. And I got to tell you that I've watched some of the movies that Rahat has picked up, and he has been quite eclectic with his treatment of those movies. And I want to talk more about Rahat's journey, because not only because it's very interesting, but also as an independent filmmaker to create a niche in Bollywood must have been a very difficult process. So Rahat, tell me more about your journey. You are from Punch.
Yes. So yeah, I'm from Punch, and I completed my studies there in late 90s, when the situation of the state was very very bad. And Poonch is right on the border of India, Pakistan, both sides of Kashmir, I would say better. So we were going through all those, all that situation, and then we shifted to Jammu in 1998 because situation was getting worse day by day, and we can say that हम भी ऐसे ही मुहाजिर होके जम्मू से में आए थे, and but besides that, I used to write poetry and stories. That was somewhere inbuilt in me, because I used to study Urdu, and my grandfather, my Nana ji, he was a very prolific Sufi poet. So somehow वो मेरे गुरु बने. So writing was the first thing which came in my mind, and I started writing. And then I was so young at that time, and I used to get a lot of appreciation from the surrounding wherever I used to read. And then when I came to Jammu, I started trying with Doordarshan channels, small time things, and then I went to Mumbai. So that's how, like, I kept going, taking risks, not thinking about my future and career, where my friends were trying for medical exams to get into MBBS, or my colleagues who were like, you'll be when we passed out, and the others were trying for civil service examinations. And I and two of my crazy friends, we were just thinking about films. And even during the time of those like the conflicted times of 90s, when everybody was uh, scared about the situations and all, and we were always thinking about cinema films. Even we tried to make a independent film when we were students. It was a student film which we made there, where even watching a film was like a crime. Cinema theaters were
I
closed and
remember in Kashmir, cinema theaters were forced closed,
closed.
right?
Yeah.
And yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I have dedicated a film called Side A and Side B. If you get time, please watch that film. That's my teenage autobiographical feature, which has traveled to several festivals, and now it's released. It's on several OTT platforms. So that film, shows how the artists survive in a time of conflict and war. So it is that. So that's how, like, I think the best thing which brought me till here is fearlessness. I was not so worried, stressed about my career, that, oh, am I going to get a job or not? Though I did not belong to a very rich family in terms of money, but yes, I belong to a Sufi family where we had a lot of respect. People used to come to us for duas and prayers and all. So that kind of background I had, but not that big money we had. We went to Mumbai with like handful of money, which we spent in 15 days, and then we were empty. But it kept going. I kept trying for several years until I actually got to know how it works, how to start, because there was no training, which is not good. I don't suggest to anyone of today's generation to just randomly pick up your bags and just rush to LA or Mumbai. Don't do this, just get training first. But for us there was no other way out, because we used to live in a village, a small town, and there was no such opportunity for us. But thankfully then I got to join a workshop with Satya Dev Dubey ji, and then in Mumbai, Prithvi Theatre, started there a little. Then afterward, then I started getting to know about this, because I think to achieve something, you need to know that first. So for me, even while achieving something, I was discovering also at the same time. So because I came from a world where I just had this passion and maybe something natural instinct of writing, but had no training, no technical training, nothing, and no exposure, that, and no no idea how I'm going to do what it is going to be. And and maybe that helps me to even today to make fearless films. I don't think about the revenues, how much money I'm going to make. That is the reason that I'm lucky that I could make few films which have voice. Uh, uh, and I never thought that how we are going to make. And luckily, I got such kind of partners with me, like-minded people from like you. I have met you now, but same kind of people who are passionate about cinema. They from different parts of the world. I kept going, meeting people, and we used to crack an idea. Oh, this is a great idea. Okay, let's make a film. So we have made films like this. Like when we wanted to tell a story, we never thought that which distribution company is going to pick this up, where we are going to showcase. All that happened gradually. Yes.
So do you think it's different now from how it was when you started in the 90s? Because 90s were different. There was no proliferation of social media, for example. We didn't know social media. We didn't know internet. I think we got our first Hotmail accounts in early what 1998, 2000, right? Around that time.
2000.
No, actually 1995 was Hotmail, right? So around that time. So I think we were the generation that saw no phones, no internet, and then um a a a, a complete chaos of too much information, too much social media, too much everything. And now there are generations that have grown into TikTok videos. They're born to be actors, they're born to be dancers, they're born to be singers. They don't think twice before. I don't know how these people create so much content. I will have to literally write and think of ideas, but there are kids right now. If you go to any social media platform, they're creating 20 clips in a week. And I don't know how they get these ideas and how they get the time to do this. But then I realized they're full time doing this. So
Yes.
the proliferation of social media has changed all of this. Has it changed filmmaking also, Rahat?
Um, about filmmaking, I would say that maybe technically we always get guess the films are getting evolved day by day. As the world is evolving, we are evolving. Films are also evolving. But I would not say that the narrative, the cinema, I think, has always been cinema. It is not maybe now, like, yeah, I can talk about Indian cinema. A lot has changed in Indian cinema, the way of looking at stories. Because before, we used to see in 70s and 80s, there were formula films, the same kind of action packed romance musical, which have all the ingredients. So those kind of films were the mainstream films, whereas there were parallel cinema, where people used to experiment with stories. But after, I think, after 2000, after internet, after Lagan going to Oscars, and we more responsibilities as filmmakers in India. So people started experimenting, and thankfully now with the OTT platforms, the filmmakers are more fearless to experiment with films, which is good. So we make so many films, a lot of films. I think I don't have exact numbers, but maybe more numbers than in numbers, more than Hollywood, are equal to Hollywood.
Absolutely. More than
And,
China,
and
more than Hollywood. Yes.
more than Hollywood in numbers. So of course, when so much films are made, so many films are made, there would be like 80 to 90% films will be average. But there are films which have different ideas, which are evolved. So yes, cinema has also evolved. But as you were talking about us as 90s generation, when we were students and we had no phones, no internet, nothing. I think we were lucky because we have seen both the faces. It was totally a different world which we cannot imagine today. We can't imagine to stay without our phone for a day. And in 90s we didn't have a phone. We just had landline phones. And but those were the times of letters, love letters, waiting for people. Oh, so those moments, we still cherish those. Keeping roses in your books, reading books in your having them in your hands. And now we don't have anything in our hands. We just read it on
Having
Kindle.
having actual boys coming after you rather than people stalking you on social media. Yes, that's right.
I we used to like some girl. We used to wait to talk for several years, to get right chance to to talk to her. Maybe to go to our friends and us, we used to go to the streets where our girls are used to live, and we used to wait for days to have a, what do you say, to have a jhalak of her, to just see.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Because we were not so aware, and we didn't have social media and all, we were not connected to the outer world. We were uh, more happy, more fearless. बुल्ले शाह ने कहा है ना कि इल्म ने कीता ख्वार, कि जितना इल्म, जितना जितना नॉलेज बढ़ता
Knowledge.
जाता है, as your what do you say, knowledge increases. So somewhere the fears come in, and and you get limited with your knowledge. When you have no knowledge, maybe you're more from
Your
inside.
biases increase. The more you know, the less you know. So true. Truth.
Knowledge.
So I know हम दोनों में एक और चीज कॉमन है because हम कश्मीर को बिलोंग करते हैं. उर्दू हमारी बड़ी अच्छी है because
बिल्कुल
obviously हम पढ़ चुके हैं उर्दू, and of course that Sufi culture that binds that entire place together. आपके काफी सारे the movies and the stories that you picked up, that reflects pretty well. I can see that the kind of stories you pick up, the way you write them, the way those are presented, you bring together a certain classic Sufism to it. I know Mantostan. You had told me about Mantostan maybe 6 months ago, and I did watch it. And I absolutely, absolutely, absolutely loved it, by the way, I have to tell you. And I know that you had taken this movie to Cannes in 2016.
Yes,
Tell me
yes.
more about that.
So yeah, Mantostan, I can say. So before Mantostan, we made a film called Identity Card,
Yes.
which we at that time there was no OTT platforms and all in 2014. So that was our first in-house production where we made a film with we collected money from friends and all the actors supported us, and we made it. We screened it in London, and it got lots of good reviews. And then parts of this film were shown in European Parliament around 2016 to while discussing Kashmir conflict. So that was a film which actually helped us to see outer world, and to get our film to and to the to
Yeah,
out.
I know from the story of the movie that it was a very hard-hitting movie, but I couldn't find it anywhere on any of the platforms.
I think, yeah, it's not on any OTT platform because we sold it to distributors in 2014, and that time there were no OTT platforms. But now I'm acquiring the rights back, to put it on maybe Amazon or any other platform, because now I have a good connect with OTTs. So I'm trying to, show this film to world, because it's a beautiful film, which is a satire, and which touches all the, issues of Kashmir, and not in a very, not in a, it's a hard hitting film, but it's not a sad film. It
It's a
has a lot.
satire on the fact that people's identity cards are used to define their lives, and
Yes.
that's what I read about it. Yes.
Yes. So after identity card, we made Mantostan, and we were lucky that we could somehow arrange to take this to Cannes, and that first foreign trip outside India, and for first time going to Cannes. It was a wonderful experience, and that helped us a lot to get this film on Netflix and Hotstar. Later on, it went on Hotstar. So we initially we sold it to Netflix and Star TV. So it's still, it has like run many times on Star Television, and got a lot of good reviews. And that film actually opened doors for us with the international producers, because when we went to Cannes. So after that, I started Le Havre, which actually did really well for me on OTT, on in the festivals, and it was a little bigger scale film. So Le Havre we made with the Oscar winner producer from France called Marc Bachet. Marc Bachet, who had produced No Man's Land in 2001, Cannes in Oscars, and this film had won Oscars, Best Film Oscar. So the producer of that film, he came on board with us. He was so kind to, support us in the film, and we made Le Havre on Ismat Chughai's story, which was again a very brave and bold story about a woman in a Muslim family in 1922, and she having a same-sex relationship with her. So
very brave movie. Very brave movie.
Yes. So I think that then this film Le Havre has helped a lot. We won 11 international awards, 3 in US, and traveled to so many countries with the film, and finally we got a distribution with Viacom, which also, because it is, because being an independent producer, it is very important to get your distribution deal done, because if you're not able to crack a distribution deal, you will not be able to make your next film. That is very important, because you want, as Walt Disney has said, that we don't make money to make, no, we don't make movies to make money, but we make money to make
movies.
So it's very important to make money to make more movies. So yeah, so luckily we got distribution deal with them, and yes.
So tell me about Lines. I watched the movie and I absolutely liked it. I liked it also because I understand that terrain very well. I am from that area. I completely understood the story. I know so many families that are split on the border. I know of these stories, and it was such a beautifully told story. And I was surprised to see, so used to seeing Hina Khan in other roles, but over here she looked different, and the kudos to her. I know she's won a lot of awards, but she deserves much more for the performance that she pulled through in this movie.
Yes. So Lions was a subject which was very close to my heart, because I feel that films are literature of a filmmaker. So I try to pick two kind of stories, either from literature like Le Havre, Mantostan, they're from literature, or Country of Blind. So either from your life, or the incidents you have heard close to you, where you have experienced something. So I believe in that. So like Side A, Side B was my childhood memories like that. Lions is something which I have lived. I live in Punch, which is close to border, and I know the sufferings of people of people who live right on the border, both sides, not only in India, but both the sides. And I feel so sad for the life, for the kind of life they have on border. I was recently, last week, I was traveling from, after Cannes, I'm traveling from Milan to Zurich by car with my friends. And when we reached on the border, it almost, I almost felt like crying. On the border, there's nobody to
Nobody,
ask, to ask you.
especially
And
because of EU.
all go, welcome to Switzerland or something like that.
Mm.
And nothing, you can just cross the border so many times. And in India and Pakistan, in Kashmir, you have your relatives on both the sides, and you die, dreaming to meet your loved ones. And especially for the generation which is older than us, especially the generation of my grandfather, your grandfather, where,
The partition generation.
yeah, partition generation, they had their brothers, sisters. So this was the story which was everybody's story. Like my nani, my grandmother, she had her real sister in Pakistan side, Kashmir, and she came here after, I guess, 40 years or something. And I remember the happiness in the people of the whole town when she was coming, and how they were eager to meet each other, how they cried when they met. So all those moments I tried to weave in lines. And yes, uh, we made again this film with the very limited budget and resources, but we made this film with full heart. And Hina also supported the film, uh, not charging any money for the film, and also came on board as a co-producer because she loved the script so much. And yes, unlearning what she had, how she used to do in television before, because this was her first feature film and first acting project out of television. Indian television has a different style of storytelling and acting. So she did a lot of hard work to be able to perform this
No,
character.
you can see that definitely. And I also saw that you worked with Heli Shah in your latest movie, and that's why you were in Cannes. You just got back from Cannes. So tell me more about this new movie. It is called Kaya Palat.
Kaya Palat, yes. So this movie, I have written the story, and actually, this story was with me like since 2 3 years. I wanted to write the story on. I've made most of the films which tell stories from Kashmir or Poonch. So this story is based in Jammu region, which is little different from the other parts of state. You would understand better. And this is about not the river mafias. So it's a thriller, but based on a real life story. I'll not tell much about the story because it has a suspense in the film. If I tell anything, so I'm
If
afraid
it's based
to
on a real life story, I'll find out.
off records that where and where what and from where I picked the story. So yeah, and in this film I have acted in the film and written it, of course produced it also. My brother Shoaib, he has directed this film. I've not directed it, and I think we are very happy with the result. We recently finished shooting, and again Heli. I worked with Heli in a music video, and that time I offered her this film because I found that I was looking for a girl like that. And it was a beautiful experience. And we went with this to Cannes, and luckily Hali walked red carpet with for L'Oreal, which was again first time for a, I think, Indian television actress, because they mostly take to the A-list, A-list Bollywood actors. So she was lucky to associate with L'Oreal for this. And then we had a first look launch. And apart from this, we had a look launch of Country of Blind also, which is our international project with Hina Khan again. So we had
Okay.
two at
I
Cannes.
don't know about the other project. Tell me about the Country of Blind. Tell me about that.
So Country of Blind is something which you're going to love again, because it is something where we have put a lot of hard work, and it was a massive production with like 250 to 300 people on set every day in a jungle. It's called Doodh Patri, if you have seen or not in
I've
Kashmir.
been there. I've been
Yeah,
there,
you
of course.
for like more than a month, around 40 days, with 300 people. And we created an era of like 18th century. It's a period film where, and it's based on H.G. Wells' story, The Country of the Blind. which
Oh my God.
you
That
remember.
is amazing, of course. And you actually filmed it in Dodpatri.
Yes,
Oh,
and we have in mountains, and there was a lot of hard work, but we are very happy to see the result, because see, we were creating a country where all the people are blind, and one mountaineer falls and reaches in the in that valley where people are blind and they have no idea of outer world. So we could not use anything which is made of metal, any metal, not no clothes. So how would we do? We had to create everything. Then we the first thing was like, what will they wear? So we thought that there are animals, maybe they were, but because mentally they are so strong that they can kill animals also, even they're blind. So we used animal skins, real animal skins. We had to process them manually with, like, our costume team had like 12, 13 girls who worked for like around 2 months in Kashmir, collecting animal skins, processing them manually, stitching them manually, made those costumes. And there was a massive makeup team for creating all the beards and everything, like 14 or 15 people in makeup. So it was in a way, I can say it was a big production. Not a like 100 million film. It was like, again, under 1 million, but the kind of production we created with passionate people from all across the country. And we also have a American co-producer on board on this film, and we made this film in two languages, English and Hindi. So yeah, so film is
so
ready, and now
hopefully you'll get it here to Sundance or something. We'd love to. Well, we'd love to see it here at the film festivals.
trying to get it.
Brilliant, brilliant. I can't wait for all these movies to come out, Rahat. And I am amazed to see, the entire um the entire plethora of ideas that you have, and how you're producing this entire these all these different ideas, and how you're bringing them all together. You said something that struck me right now, that Heli was the only TV, the TV actor who actually walked the red carpet for L'Oreal. And I think this distinction between television actor and film actor only happens in India. I don't see it happen here or in Europe or anywhere else. An actor is an actor, whatever the medium is. And I believe television actors have a lot more power to pull the crowds, because they're in front of the audiences every day in their homes, and the reach is much higher. I don't know, what do you say about this entire apartheid that you see in India? Where does this come from?
I don't know. You are right. I believe that, and that is the reason that I have been working with so many actors. Sorry, again, I'm using the same term, television actors. Actors are actors
We
everywhere.
are taking it out of our vocabulary when we talk to actors from India or people from India. We don't talk about television, or
Which is very,
a
and
medium doesn't matter. An actor is an actor.
exactly, and I'm very well aware that this doesn't happen in America and other parts of the world. Not even in Pakistan, I guess, because in Pakistan I've seen most of the very good
Most of
actors.
the, yeah, actors do movies, actors do dramas,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Actor is an actor. Yeah.
they do theater like in India, but I don't know, these terms are made in where are these terms made? But in India, I think it was not there before, during the era of Doordarshan and all. No, you remember all the actors like Om Puri and everybody. They used to work for television. Gulzar Saab used to make stories for Doordarshan, and at the same time make films.
Yeah,
Uh,
Mahesh Bhatt did so many serials, and he did movies. Everybody used to medium.
yeah, there was no difference, but of late, I think the Indian television changed a little. Um, I don't know. I don't want to comment on it. Yes, they have a massive following, and actors who work in television, they have more fan following than actors who are on in the films or web series, because the actors on television are seen every day in all the households, and they have a lot of love and respect. And that was the reason that when we took Hina, there was a lot of response from everywhere. There was so I don't differentiate between television and films. I think you are right. I agree with you. And the same question arose in Cannes when we were talking. So it came from somebody asked Hallie that what was the difference from acting in television and acting in film, and she said no, nothing. There was no difference because acting is acting. The only
Absolutely.
thing, because maybe the actor who worked in television can tell this because they have experience. So she revealed in an interview somewhere I was reading that she said the only difference was that in television we have to work quickly, we have to shoot so many scenes every day because we are showcasing, but in when she was doing film with us, we were very slow. We used to discuss scenes for a long time. We used to change the scenes on set. I said that's how we work. We don't stick to lines which are written on the script. Sometimes I come up with an idea, and then I write a new scene, and then I discuss with director and actors, and we all. And in I'll give you an example. In you have watched the film Lines. In Lines, there is, I think that is the most powerful, one of the most powerful scene where Hina tells her mother that she wants to cross the border and go. So very emotional scene. Uh, that scene was not in the script. So one morning I told Hussain Saab, who was directing, and I was helping him direct the film because I had written it and I was producing it, and my whole heart was there in the film. I told him, "You go start shooting another scene. I have some idea in my mind. I want to write it." So I was in my hotel. I wrote this scene, and then when I went on the set, I told to Farida ji, said, "Why late क्यों आया है?" ऐसे करके. I said, "I have written a beautiful scene." She said, "अच्छा सुना सुना." So I narrated the scene there to everybody, and everybody was like, "This is a wonderful scene." And the same night we shot that scene. So sometimes these kind of experiments we can do with in the films, and especially independent films. Again, a film with studios has a lot of pressure. Now I'm making I'll not talk about that film much, but maybe I'll soon reveal about it. It's a big studio based film where we were working on script since 2 years. Everything has to be on paper before you go on set, because with bigger actors, bigger again, bigger smaller is nothing, but with the actors who have you take who take more money than and the studios have more pressure on them, so they want to keep everything on paper. And the beauty of making independent films is that you can experiment on your sets, you can change your script, you can still you can rethink your scenes there. So that is a beautiful thing, and that is, I think, the little difference which actors would enjoy and experience, because in television they get the scene and they have to do that quickly and finish the scene and go to the next scene. But in films, we sometimes we shoot, sometimes we feel this is not working, then we maybe reshoot. Sometimes we do rehearsal and we think that it's not working, then everybody gives some ideas, we can do this, we can do that. That's how we work.
So obviously, an actor is an actor, and we ourselves would not want to differentiate between actors, and no one's less. Everybody's talented, and if they have fans following them and so much love being given to them by people, they definitely are worth that love. So we'll just absolutely say that. So, what is the plan for Kaya Pullet? When are you releasing it? Where is it coming? Where do we see it?
Kaya Pallat, we are actually working, it's in the post production. So I hope we will have the first copy in our hands in 2 months or so, and then we'll definitely take this film to festivals also,
Festivals.
because yeah, it's a thriller, but it's a thriller which is based on a real story, and we have kept those sensibilities there. So we'll take it to few festivals, and let's see where it starts and where it goes, because till the time we watch the first copy, एक बार film देखेंगे तो we'll get an idea कि क्योंकि every festival has a different audience and their
Yeah,
taste, so we'll think
absolutely.
and OTT platform where it will fit. So we have, thankfully, a marketing team and small sections now from independent production. Now we are trying to shift into a studio based base where we will be making these kind of stories, but with little a better scale and better distribution and production. thing lined up. So we are working towards that. So hopefully soon will have some idea that where we are going to take the film.
We cannot wait to see all your movies come out, Rahat. And it was such a pleasure speaking with you. I had so much fun chatting with you. And I'm so proud of you, not only because you are from my place of birth, but also because as an independent filmmaker and as a dreamer, you have been a doer as well. You've literally not been afraid to take the chances, and you've been fearless in your entire journey of taking the right chances and being where you are. And we wish you all the best in whatever you do.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me here and interacting with your audiences. And it's always fantastic talking to you. I connect to you so well that whenever we chat, we talk. It's so good to talk to you.
It's always my pleasure.